Welcome to AMA. My name is Leah Love, and I am your marketing subcourt for Ohio and Guru, and I host this lovely webcam for you all, asking you the questions that you want the answers to. My host tonight for part 2 of my 3-part series of the Grand Elysium BaneKlaive event is the head storyteller of Columbus in Darkness, Josh Hines. Welcome, Josh.
Hey, how's it going? Can you not hear me now?
So a little tidbit about the two of us.
Go ahead.
I can hear you. There seems to be a little lag, but we're good.
That's
fine. Just like Jake was my next door neighbor, Josh is 2 doors down from me, so we've got a nice little group going on here in Ohio, and we do love our Grand Elysium, don't we, Josh?
Event that kind of puts Ohio on the map in terms of the org. So,
would you say it's the midsummer event?
Yeah, I think so. Glitter and Gloom's another great event, but it's a little earlier in the year. But I think the probably by far the best event that falls, in the summer sauce. I mean, BaneKlaive's pretty good too, but yeah, I think that we're probably the best one in the summer to go to. I don't really care for camping though, so I'd rather be in a comfortable hotel that's really nice and air conditioned.
Especially after the blackouts that we were having last year, and many people didn't have air conditioning at home like me. So yes, having a great hotel to go to was very, very nice. Let's just get right into the basics of this event here. Just give us all the when, where, cost. I know that there's a tiered system going on this year.
Yeah, we're still in right now for pre-registration until June 30th, and that is $35 right now. At June 30th, the pre-registration closes, and we go to $40. And that is July 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, starting 5 p.m. Going till midnight each night. So, except for Sunday. Sunday probably won't go to midnight. Sunday probably go to until I can't run anymore. Probably closer to 10 o'clock.
And Sunday night's your normal game night, is it not?
It is, yeah. But I will tell you that if you've run one of these things by Sunday, I would say you're ready to pull out all your hair, but I don't have any of that. You're just pretty much ready to pass out anywhere and get away from everybody.
This is very true. The Guru BaneKlaive that we both play in runs the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and by the end of Sunday day, we're like, we don't want to go to Vampire. What do you mean? There's so more to do.
I mean, it's great. We appreciate everybody who stays for it, and that's why we still run it on Sunday. It's much more laid back. I don't think we've had to throw a single chop on Sunday for the last 4 years that I'm aware of. I've only been storyteller for for this one, and 2 years ago I was assistant storyteller for it. But yeah, not many. On Sunday it's pretty close to soft RP, but if something does happen that forces it to go more hard, then we'll deal with it and throw tests as needed.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that lowdown. Now, I just want to clarify. I thought I saw somewhere that there's a Saturday only price or a Friday Saturday only price.
I haven't seen that. I'm checking at vn.net right now.
I think we're both looking for it.
But $35 for that event to go all weekend is pretty good right now. It's still available until June 30th. So actually, their on-site price is $40 for the whole event. Saturday only is $20. So if you can only make it out to Saturday, go ahead and come out. We do a discount for that. But if you're coming out, I definitely recommend doing the 35 before June 30th, it's going to save you $5, even if you're thinking about coming. I know that I've registered for events, and life happens, and I'm not able to go. But the org itself is a good organization to be. Especially the events. That's how these events continue to run. We don't make any profit from them. It's not like anybody's pocketing all this stuff. It's going straight back into next year's event, booking the hotel, getting decorations, getting all that stuff lined up. So, if you're planning on coming, or even 80% sure, I'd go ahead and just book the early event.
Awesome. Well, you talked a little, you mentioned decorations and hotels, and there were some questions that have come in about that. We're holding it at a new hotel.
Absolutely.
Where's this hotel?
This hotel is on the north side of Columbus. It's the Doubletree North. Doubletree Columbus North is their official hotel title. It's at 175 Hutchinson Avenue, Columbus, Ohio 43235. It is. We really like the Ramada. They went out of their way to kind of accommodate us, but we've just really outgrown them, and some issues that had come up in the past. With our air conditioning and CID last year, our main room the air conditioner completely went out, and we had to basically close off that room and shuffle everybody into the side room to keep the event going. And we really appreciated everybody that helped us move the decorations that we moved over there. But yeah, it was probably 80 degrees in that room down there, and it just came to a point where, okay, we've outgrown this hotel. We're going to go to a nicer hotel. Its hotel's great. They've kind of been over backwards for us. They've asked for a couple things that I want to kind of bring up and talk about here real quick.
Sure.
The alcohol policy in the past has kind of been. It's always been that the Ramada has said, we're not allowed to have alcohol running around publicly, but it's kind of been one of those things where, because it was us, they overlooked it, and they were a not as nice hotel. But we want to make sure that just be responsible about it. There's no issue with you bringing it in, having it in your rooms. There was damage to the facility last year with the Ramada. I'm not sure how many people could tell that because there were ceiling tiles that were already missing, but
that's what I heard, that somebody pulled down ceiling tiles, which is insane. We're all adults here. You would think that somebody would act like that.
I have no intention of babysitting adults, but if I have to, I will. So I don't want to. It's something I'd hope that I don't have to, tell people to, tone it back. I've talked to several people who are coming about, who had additional questions about, can I bring, large amounts of alcohol? You can. You're welcome to do that. It needs to stay in your room for the most part. And just be responsible about it.
Midwinter had I didn't attend this year, but I heard that Midwinter had a similar policy where the hotel did not allow any outside food and drinks in because they had a restaurant and bar within the facility. But it was more of a no open container rule. And
that's pretty much what they're asking for here. The hotel does have a very nice restaurant, and they have a bar there as well. So patron the hotel if you want. If you want to be walking around with it, you're welcome to do that. Water jugs are meant for water jugs. I think the people who have used those water jugs that have been put out in the past know who I'm referring to if they see this. We love you guys, and please bring your riot juice with you. But let's be responsible about it. So.
Oh yes, the riot juice. Everyone hears that battle cry. Well, thank you very much for clearing that up. And around the area, I know it very well. It's in the suburb of Worthington where I graduated from high school myself. And for landmarks, if that helps people, there is 270, which is the loop around Columbus, and High Street, or 23 as it's known, and it's right at that corner, and it looks right over
Mhm.
270. So,
Yep.
and there's really great restaurants around that area too for people who are looking to go out, and if they're
Mhm.
not sure if they want to go downtown. But downtown also reminds me, Red, White, and Boom.
Yeah, Red, White, and Boom is on the 3rd, which I think is the Friday, although I'm not I'm
It's
looking at the
Thursday.
calendar. It's Thursday. So if you're getting in town Thursday night, we'll be gaming. We might be able to see some of Red, White, and Boom from up there. I'm sure if you go outside, you'll be able to hear it,
Yeah.
because it's the largest fireworks display in the Midwest. So, the largest free fireworks display. There may be one that's larger that's pay to go near, but I don't know that for sure. I've just heard it referred to as the largest free one in the Midwest.
It is. It's just progressively gotten bigger and bigger as the years have gone on. And I remember when Grand Elysium was held at the Origins Game Fair
Mhm.
that weekend, and you could see it because the hotel was right next to it, the Hyatt Regency and Crown Plaza, where
Yeah.
it's right on Nationwide Boulevard, so you could definitely see it. It was a beautiful sight to see. And then we switched. So give our viewers a little bit of a history about how it went from, because when I first was introduced to it, it was during the Origins Game Fair,
Sure.
which is just held, and now it's moved to our own event. We're no longer affiliated with that event.
Well, and that's simply a cost saving measure for the people who are coming here. Origins, when we were there, if I remember correctly, prices right now, I don't fully remember, but I think an Origins event badge for the whole event was like $75, and then after that, you still had to pay, I think, at least $9 a night for our event, which was the minimum that the Gamma, I think, was the company at the time that was running it. So people just coming to the event, not looking to do anything else, if that's what they were doing, we're looking at $100 just to come and play in our event, and that didn't include their hotel, any of their food costs. That was kind of the reason that we decided to go away from Gamma, was just for a cost savings benefit to, all the players in the org. That's kind of what we're looking at doing. We like to travel to these things. We go travel locally. I've been to Midwinter several times. I went to Ecumenical Council. Haven't been to Glitter and Gleam yet. I'd like to, and haven't been up to the Northeast event yet, but it's one of the ones that I still want to hit as well. Like to hit one of the ones on the West Coast at some point, but when that'll be, I don't know. But the benefit to our organization is to keep their costs down as low as we can. That's one of the reasons that when we start promoting Grand Elysium every year, that we try and get the price as low as we can for the earliest registration that we can. This year it started in May, or until we hit May, and then for 2 months we had it at 5, and then on site goes up to 40. So, and that's just to get as many people out. Everybody has a budget for these events, and that's what they can do, and we try and keep it as low as possible.
Yeah,
And with Origins, they were a great convention. They treated us well, but $100 for our people to play was more than we were willing to do.
yeah, and I would have to agree. It was very expensive, and there weren't a lot of opportunities for volunteering as many conventions do. I know that I did volunteer, but many people work, as my work situation is now, I wouldn't be able to do it. I work, Monday through Friday. I can just get off, and so it's very understandable. Now this event will start on Thursday night. Is that correct? Soft role play?
Correct. No, Thursday night will not be soft role play for Columbus in Darkness, the Grand Elysium part of Columbus in Darkness event, and it'll start on Thursday night. Sign in for the event starts at 5. Sign in for CID will probably start at 5:30, just depending on maybe 6, depending on how event sign in is going. We want to make sure that everybody gets signed into the event and signed into character as quickly as possible. Best way to do that is get sheets in early, to us, to CID, and pre-register.
When is your cutoff? When is your sheet cutoff?
Same as OKS's, which was the 24th at midnight, I believe. Let me look at my list here. So I wrote it down. I think it's the 24th at midnight. I sent it out earlier today to somebody.
Well, and you mentioned something, so while you're looking at that, I'm going to ask you this question here. Uh, in in the past, it's been when you sign into the event, you sign into CID. Now, there are two separate games running in addition to CID,
Yeah.
Profits, Guru, which is the Guru game, and Ohio Night Sabbat, aka OKS, which is running in the daytime.
Hmm.
What?
That's not correct, actually. When you
Okay.
sign into the event, you're signing into the event itself. If you don't sign into CID, will sign in each night at 6 o'clock. Once your character is signed into CID, you're signed into CID. We may have to do that once a night. I don't anticipate it, but yeah, we should. Is that first thing you do, you come into game, you'll sign into whatever game you're in, whether that's OKS, whether that's CID, whether that's Wild Profits, and you'll sign their logbook if you're CID or OKS. I'm assuming OKS is doing this because it's how vampires wake up every night. You'll hand one of the storytellers at the sign-in table a blood token because that's what it costs you to get up that night, or a blood ticket. Gru doesn't have that. You stupid people who are still alive. But
We like living.
you know, we have to suffer. The worm demands our bloods.
Oh, okay. The words of Manager Blood. Well, then.
So the event.
Did we lose
Sorry,
you?
the event registration is. Oh no, I'm still here.
Okay.
I think I'm still here.
You are still here.
That lags back though.
Well, it's an unfortunate event that happens within the trade, so we're just gonna have to deal with it the best we can. Glasswalkers, I'm coming for you.
Yep.
But you said something that you have to sign in every night. 2 years ago, 2 BaneKlaives ago, I signed in with my guru, my little Kliath guru, at the behest of a particular elder. And nothing, thankfully, happened to the character, but it was adamantly explained to us that once we signed into CID, we were signed in for the entire weekend. Anything could happen to our characters through 10 o'clock Sunday night when it ended. Is that how this is going to be run again this year?
It kind of depends. Realistically, it's one of those things where if your character signs in, has a conversation, and can justify to me or another storyteller why and how you are signed out, that you are not reachable by RPCs that are still signed in, that may be hunting you, may be looking for you, that's fine. You, for effects, can be signed out of game, but that means that you have to talk to a storyteller that's on site there, that's on staff, that says, okay, you are officially signed out. Last year, Jake talked about it a little bit. We had one PC that went city hopping through Ohio, and we allowed those people to track him, that PC, for at least 2 hours as they were trying to catch up with him after he had done some things. So,
oh, good storylines. But what about the out-of-towners? Say, they have to leave, before the game starts, and
when they have to leave, I mean, when you're not at the event, I'm not going to hold anybody to be there on Sunday. Your character is still, signed into our game. Now that you're away, I'm going to force proxy your sheet and do anything. It's just not, it's not feasible. It's not reasonable. It's not, expected. It shouldn't be expected. Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're pretty much in the event. The whole time. I mean, we do have a game on game off times, and that's for my sanity and the sanity of my storytellers and narrators, so that we can still have an interesting weekend. Because I don't want to be running scenes till 3 a.m. But most of my NOS players will tell me that I'll be in that scene until 3 a.m. most likely, which is why I'm dead by Sunday. So.
Oh, your NOS players. They do love you so, don't they?
Yeah, well,
they just demand your attention.
Oh no, our meetings end up going from midnight to about 3 a.m., which is our clan meetings for Nosferatu are normally at the end of the event or at the end of each night, so that we can compare notes and go over everything, and it just takes a while.
Is there an official schedule for clan meetings?
There is an official schedule for clan meetings that went out. Uh,
And how many chords are you working with this event?
Most of the Camarilla ones. I worked with Shamir, Gangrel, Volcavian, Toreador, Asamai, Bruja a little bit. Yes. Pretty much everybody. A little bit of stuff with Sabat side. Nothing that's going to be run, but just kind of how some things are going to affect us and some of the things that we were looking at doing. And I'm trying to get my clan meeting schedule pulled up here.
Well, then let me ask, is there any specific plot that characters can be looking for, players can be, anticipating from their respected clan chords?
Okay, I found my clan meeting. So let me go over the clan meetings real quick. This announcement has gone out in character.
Okay.
So if you don't have it in character yet, don't use the information in character. But this is for out of character purposes. Friday, July 4th, in the Buckeye Rooms 1 and 2, Clan Venture is meeting from 7 to 8. Clan Toreador is meeting from 7 to 8. Clan Mokavian is from 8 to 9. Clan Bruja is from 9 to 10. And the Polaris Room, Clan Shamir is from 7 to 8. And Clan Gangrel is from 8 to 9. The other event that is on the calendar as of right now is the main ballroom. There's an auction on Saturday run by a PC, Kyle Butler, and that is from 8 to 9. Those are the things that are on the schedule as of right now. I am sure that there will be more things added as we get closer and as some things kind of shake out for it as well. But if you don't know when your clan meeting is, or you don't know where it is, find somebody that's of your clan and figure it out. Clan Nosferatu's meeting is not on the schedule. That's probably because there's no one bothered to put us on there, and that doesn't surprise me at all.
And it runs from 12 to 3.
Yeah, and in someone's room, most likely. And then Chad of Akeem are not on the schedule. And so you'll have to talk with those dirty Assamites as to why.
Okay, so keeping with the clans, and you are working with many of the chords, is there any particular plots that characters and players can look forward to or anticipate?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely plots that I don't want to give a lot of things away. So what I'm going to talk about for plots is some things that occurred last year.
Okay.
We had major things that occurred last year during the event. Hardestat showed up during our event on Saturday evening and talked to several members of Clan Venture, as well, and push some things forward there. There will most likely be some canon NPCs who are showing up, meaning I'm not going to give away any names because that kind of stirs the pot a little too much. Last year, Kate Davidson died at this event from, action of another PC, and that sent ripples out. There are definitely things that will cause national level ripples to go out through the org that are going to be happen and discussed at the event and run at the event. So that's definitely something that that's a good reason to come out. But I'm not going to go into what they are.
Okay. Well, specifics, if you don't want to go into, that's perfectly fine. I know that a lot of people are very concerned about when they come into a game that they've traveled to in such an event like this, is that there is either too much national plot, too much local plot. How do you plan to balance the two?
My plan for this is that anytime that there's an event like this, in my opinion, is local plot kind of takes a backseat. it should be more national. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't get involved in local plot that may or may not be going on. That's not to say that, local politics won't affect some things that you're trying to deal with on a national scale with people there. But it all kind of works out in the wash. Your local players here are going to have, dealings with each other and things that, adjust going to react
You're breaking up.
national issues that may come up. But okay, local plot during Grand Elysium just kind of completely pretty much backs off because the locals now have to deal with how am I housing 100 vampires that are coming in that are not normally here, who don't have their own havens? How am I dealing with the additional people that I need in the city to not risk the masquerade? How do I deal with any masquerade issues that might come up? How do I deal with, all of these things that are, contingent on, another 100 vampires that they're not used to and not used to dealing with in the city showing up for a weekend for something like this. So our PCs plan, months ahead, starting to, how are we doing? How are we collecting blood? Where are we putting visitors up? And these are things that they think about and we've dealt with, as PCs and CID for years.
That's a lot to think about that I think a lot of real games don't pay attention to. And Columbus's Darkness was known for housing a lot of influence. Do you see a lot of that get put into play for this event so things go smoothly in character?
Absolutely. We have people that have been building Grand Elysium sites with their influences for, I think, at least 6 months, maybe only 4. Maybe longer. People have been collecting things for the auction or gifts that they're going to be presenting or different things of that nature for the whole year leading up to the event.
Now, you mentioned the auction. Those are for item cards? Does anybody make any phys reps for?
I don't know if they're phys reps being made. The item cards themselves come from all over the country. It's all handled by our PCs who do the collecting of it. So whether physical representations for them or not, I don't know. I know that I haven't made any, but I also haven't. I've seen them at other games before. I know one of the auctions at Midwinter one year was a paper dragon, and they had crafted this amazing piece for it. So I'd like to. I think it adds a good development to it, but sometimes you just can't. Sometimes it just doesn't work out well.
Sure. Now, typically, there are themes to each night. Is that going to be following this year as well?
Yeah, our themes are Old World Night 1. So kind of whatever you anticipate, your character sees as Old World is kind of the theme for that night. The second night is Modern. So it's whatever. We didn't really go with a formal, informal black tie, that kind of thing this year like we've done in the past. It's formal or it's not formal. It's Old World Night 1 on Thursday. Friday night is Modern, so normal modern clothes. Dress fancy if you want to. Don't if you don't want to. That's going to be completely up to our and that's kind of the you can fit in with the themes if you want to. You don't have to. We're not going to force anybody. Although PCs might force you or whatever, but that's in character. That's not us forcing you out of character.
Of course.
And then Saturday is going to be Fangs Out. So it's kind of one of those reclaiming kind of the sexy kind of I think Fangtasia from True Blood when I think Fangs Out. That's kind of the theme that's going on in my head is kind of we've helped kind of talked about this. This kind of wasn't what the thing that's kind of been embracing the vampire and the things that we hide from mortals is kind of what the official statement is. But
Understandable. So go over in character just the who's Prince, who's Sheriff, who's Keeper of Elysium, who are the important people that characters that people need to know.
Prince right now is Eric Kine. Sheriff is Titus Bastone. Primogen Council shifted up here recently. Keeper of Elysium is Kyle Butler. Harpy is Lloyd Lionside or Opie. I think it's Lloyd Lionside. Is a character name for him. It went out in the original announcement. And Elysium announcement. Thank you. Yeah, that's not
right. Don't you love it when plans change in the middle of everything?
Oh, plans are constantly changing. Eva Sophia is Toreador Primogen. Lydia Laurent is Shamir Primogen. Chris Gallagher's listed as Venture Primogen on the announcement. I'll let you deal with that if you wish. The ones that were announced in the original announcement are Kyle Butler, Keeper of Elysium, Opie Lionside, Harpy, Titus Bastone, Primogen, Eva Sophia Primogen, Christopher Gallagher Primogen, Lydia Laurent Primogen. And the original announcement has all their email addresses. So, and then Prince, of course, is Eric Hine.
Wonderful. Now, decorations are a big key to this event. You guys do take a lot of time to decorate. Is there anybody in particular we need to thank?
I'm going to thank our whole team because they've gone the last couple of years. They've gone over and above, and you know it's not right for me to thank some of them, not all. So I'm gonna. This is the order they were sent to me. So Eva Reidinger, Amanda Canode, Jill Hines, Josh Hines, Tracy Arbach, Jesse Lyons, Peter DeGravio, Tanya Lackey, Ralph Smith, and Zach Knox. I love our decorating committee. They've gone over and above this year. I know that my living room is pretty much covered with stuff.
I was there the other day and I was like, well, it's time for Grand Elysium. You know, it's just, it was a given.
All over the place. That's fine. No, committee goes to purchase the things that we purchase for our decorations, and you know it's a big part of helping everybody get into character for the event. And you know, so we start about 6 months before the event on an out of character level, going, okay, what are we gonna people or for decoration committee, and this is kind of an advice to other event games out there who are looking to, you know, how do I do good decorations on the cheap? Your best bet is to go after holidays, after Christmas. Red lights are real cheap, white lights are real cheap, purple lights and orange lights are real cheap after Halloween. Red, white, and blue lights real cheap after 4th of July. You know, figure out what you want for your event, and then you know you can look at getting really cheap lighting effects that you know will fit that. You know, and that's just kind of one of those things where you know after the holidays, our decoration committee team a lot of times goes in, looks at stuff that's on the clearance racks and buys it 50-75% off, and you know we put it in the closet and pull it out when we're ready to use it. So and by closet I mean Matt Armitage and Ryan Dickerson's basement, because pretty much where all of our stuff gets stored at least right now. So I'm going to throw a shout out to them as part of the decoration committee, even though they're not on there.
So. Hey, they're doing a big, you know, service to you guys by housing all of the equipment there. And, you know, it needs to go somewhere other than your living room. I know one year that there were props made and auctioned off for actual cash.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago, I think. And that was to help the decoration committee kind of recoup some of the funds. Those were paper mache clan symbols that we had done. We're not doing that this year. It's something we kind of talked about in the past, but we've found for our event, because it's something we run every year, because we know we're going to be continuing to run it, that our best bet is to make something that we can, if we're going to make something, we're going to spend the time and effort into crafting something, which you know takes time. Let's do it so that it's something that we can take down, pack up, break back out next year if we decide to use it. If not, we don't use it next year, so be it. But we still want to have that option to be able to, filter things in and out each year. You don't want to make, a paper mache clan symbols every year. It was awesome that year. That was Amity Holland that did that, and they were great. I had the Nosferatu in for a while, and I think it got damaged, or gave it away to another Nos player. I don't remember which now. But no, I mean, our decoration committee has been great for years. They've only gotten better as they've gone up, and the decorations this year are going to be phenomenal.
Awesome.
So if you're only there to play werewolf, take the time to come check out just the decorations for the vampire event. Even if you don't play in it, take the time to do it.
I will certainly do that. I know that I'm there primarily for Guru myself. I don't have any active vampire characters in your game.
That's not true. You have one in Sabat. Jake McCoy said you have one in Sabat. Don't lie to these people. Don't lie to these people. It could be active.
It could be. I have a rep to protect. Okay. Maybe I want to keep that information on the download because she's very old. All right, she's very old for a Sabat character.
Well, you said it the other day, so if you want to keep it on low, you shouldn't have said it.
I didn't realize it was still active. Maybe I thought I'd give people a little bit of a warning. Who knows? But let's get into there's an administrative change. Now, this event is separate than the majority of events out there in which a game does not own this event. The one person essentially owns this event, which is Miles McNally. Everything business-wise is in his name. He handles everything. I mean, when we set our pre-reg into PayPal, it's to his email address. And I've talked to him, and I can say this, he is stepping down after this year.
Yep. Yeah. And that's, Miles has done it for the last, since we broke away from Grand Elysium.
Origins,
and that's, Origins, I'm sorry. Yeah, and, he was the one who put up all the money and took the risk to, for us to do that. So he was the one who had the responsibility for it. There's not a lot I can really elaborate on. It's changing from Miles to Nathan. He'll be handling it for all the pre-regs, the hotel reservations, the out-of-character logistics. CID is still going to be in charge of all the decorations, the plot, and all the IC logistics as well, as same as it's been for the past. So I don't anticipate the only thing that'll probably change is a different registration for PayPal when it comes to that for future years out. And that's probably it.
Gotcha. I just wanted to make that, I talked to Miles, and he wanted to make that known that, he was stepping down, that this was his last event, and, we've been very gracious for what he has done for this event. I remember he really did step up and take such a leadership role when we separated from Origins that I don't think Grand Elysium would have happened if he hadn't.
No, and Grand Elysium's his baby, and he's kind of treated it like that, and it's been his pride and joy, while he was doing it and he did a great job, and we wouldn't have grown to the level we're at and been able to do these things without him, I'm sure. So, kudos to Miles. I'm sure I'll end up bringing him whiskey, or buying him whiskey at the event to thank him for all that he's done. I'm not recommending everyone do that because Miles won't be walking by the end of the night. But
I don't anticipate Miles to be walking by the end of any night this weekend, considering how into it he gets.
Maybe, I don't know. That's up to Miles. I'm not babysitting adults.
Yes, that's right. You said you were not babysitting adults. There was some discussion about cross-genre and cross-sect that I had with Jacob that we touched on a little bit tonight, and that I kind of want to go into a little bit more in depth. Jacob with OKS is very into, hey, you've got a Cam, hey, you've got Guru, hey, you've got Mage. Okay, bring them in. Let's go. You stated earlier that if you have the means and the knowledge to find them, you can go. What constitutes that? For instance, I'll bring up the example where my little Cleoth and a couple others, including an elder who apparently could turn into the sun, said, "Hey, we're going to this thing,"
Sure.
and where's the line drawn?
As far as I'm concerned, the line is drawn in character. They're each group has a methodology for finding the other if it needs to. Whether that's a cult influence to meet with somebody, whether that's a ritual that gives you a location, whether that's talking to a spirit in Guru's case to figure out where all the Banes are. Now, if you come in the Umbra, you're probably going to be interacting with all the angst Banes and blood Banes and all those kinds of things that are around those vampires as well. It's something that you have to contend with and think about. Yeah, but I have no issue with. There's been at least one werewolf player for the last 5 years, I believe, that has signed in to CID every night.
Who is that?
That's storyteller information.
Oh, come on.
Nope.
Who is it? Who
Nope.
is it? Just say the
Nope.
player's name.
Nope.
I think I know who it is.
I don't even think the vampire PCs know that it happens.
I know who it is. I won't. Okay, I won't say. I know who it is.
Okay.
But oh my god, that person.
He does one quick thing and then he's out, and that's
Yep.
it. He does it every year.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So all right. So there's one. Who knows if they'll do it this year? I mean.
Sure. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and that same thing goes for Sabat. If Sabat want to come sign in, I really don't want you guys to make me run mass combat with the whole room for 4 hours, but if Sabat want to sign in and can find the location, they can find the location. I'm a big fan of our organization interacting with itself. There's no reason not to. If there wasn't, we should just all go play troop games.
Right.
But we're part of this organization for the interactivity with the organization. So when you put up those false walls, it doesn't do anything useful for anybody.
Now you mentioned mass combat. That's another thing. Do you have any mass combat planned this year?
I never plan for mass combat. I think you plan to tell a story, and if mass combat happens, then so be it. Most of the mass combats that have occurred at our events were never something that any of the storytellers planned. Hey, at 9 o'clock, there's going to be a mass combat that's going to break out between this group and this group. Most times what happens is Group A decides it's going to go after Person B, and Group B decides to get involved. Last year, the one that I remember very, very, very Hillard, some Bruja, summoned his Nosferatu into their ramp. And Zeb proceeded to get, as Brock proceeded to get destroyed in there. That was ran. And all the Nosferatu tried to get into the ramp as well. And the Bruja just held the door closed on them. So, it's one of those things where there were chops involved, but the Nosferatu, it didn't. Had they got through the door, it would have been a much larger combat, but they didn't. So, I mean, combat's one of those things that doesn't work well in our system, happens, and as storytellers, we have to just deal with it when it comes. So.
Okay, all right. So no mass combat is planned as an official event. How do you plan to handle it if it does come up? How many maybe I should lead with this. How many storytellers are on your staff? Do you have any guest storytellers? If so, who are they? Are they in narrator capacity?
Storytellers for the event are going to be myself, Jake McCoy, and Ryan Dickerson as full-time storytellers. I'm going to tap some other people as kind of needs arise. Those will be Peter DeGravio, Nathan Ross, Alice Rushing. Let's see. Anybody else that I feel from CID that can run a combat effectively. So if you've been a storyteller in CID within the past 3 to 4 years, I expect at some point I might tap you, or if I think you're a veteran player, I might tap you at some point anyway. So, and that all depends on, I don't intend to. I think those us three being full time and then tapping the others that I named there as needed should be plenty, but you never know. And it's kind of one of those things that as you're running something like this as a HST, it's kind of like, okay, these are my people in this order, and if I need to tap more, I will. Sean Bailey's probably on that list as well. Actually, I know he is. I don't know what I'm saying probably for. But he's, he plays Prince Kynes, so I don't want to tap him, as much as possible because it's, that's taken away from that. So
exactly. He has enough to do in character. To run it out of character would be a little bit difficult, and I can see some issues arising where if he's in a situation and somebody wants to do something to him and he can't run his own chops, and I'm not suggesting that he would. I know him very well, and he would get somebody else to do it. He is very above the board that way.
If you're a visitor or a local, my locals always know that they can always, if you want an ST for a scene, if you think an ST needs to be there for a scene, whether it's combat, whether it's an interrogation, whether it's, whatever it is. If you want an ST there, just come find somebody. If we're in the middle of other things, we'll tap somebody who's, not in the middle of something of that group to be there. And that's, something that you can always do. So.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, I know that's all the questions that I have. If any other questions arise, can anybody can we forward them to you? Would you be willing to answer those questions before the event for us?
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure I covered everything I wanted to here. Yeah,
sure.
Talked about the alcohol policy. Talked about that. Yeah, I think I am good. All right, so I have nothing further either. So that covers everything for me.
Wonderful. Do you have any closing words that you would like to leave anybody with?
Come out to our event. Pre-register. You still have until the end of this month to get it in at $35. You're planning on coming anyway, or you wouldn't be watching this. So you should plan on coming out and paying the $35 to get in, get your badge set up ahead of time, make your registration process quicker. Or, if you want to procrastinate like, we as gamers tend to do from time to time, there's an extra $5 fee and your on-site price is $40, which is, pretty competent pretty comparable competent with the rest of the org. So, come out. We'd love to see you. We'd love to see everybody out. I consider this one of the things that, we only get to see our gamer friends from around the nation a couple times a year. Take that time, find a way to get out here. We'd love to have you guys.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Josh, it has been a pleasure speaking with you, and I'm glad to know so much more about Grand Elysium that I did not know, and you've enlightened our audience very much so. Again, thank you very much. And to everyone watching, this was part 2. Next week will be part 3 with Stephen Hebelwaite, known as Joyless Obulet on Facebook. Some of you have seen his rants. He is the HST of Wild Prophets, the Guru game that we'll be playing on the same time, known as BaneKlaive. I want to thank you all again for watching part 2 of the Grand Elysium BaneKlaive AMA. My name is Leah Love, and have a wonderful night.